where it's hovering. Now, you'll notice it is doing a little bit of a toilet bowl, which I don't like. I have no idea why it's doing the toilet bowl. Nothing has changed on here. It looks like it's kind of chilling out though, so maybe that's a good thing. So let's turn it around here. Let's take it out a little bit. I know it's going to be kind of hard for you guys to see that. I can't even tell what that's saying anyway. I think it has to do with the battery. So, return to home. Let's see if it'll return to home. So here we go. Now we may have to, it's getting awfully close to the truck here, we may have to take over. So I had to take it over a little bit, but that's pretty close. Okay, that was a short but successful test here. We basically went over here. I went up, I don't know, I think I went up about 30-40 meters. About 100 and something feet, roughly. I'm not real good at the conversion there, guys. But yeah, it went up. The problem that I was having, I figured out what the error was. So the error was about a battery in the drone being too low. Now I did charge the LiPo one from G-Fi or Ji-Fi or whatever you say that, but it didn't hold. And the other two Hubsan batteries that I had, I charged one of those and I thought it was full. It didn't get full, guys. It's a lithium-ion battery, so I know they take a long time to charge. So maybe I take them home and try to charge them up again. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, this test has been pretty successful. I'll get it out again here later and we'll do more legwork with it. At least it didn't crash, so I'm pretty happy about that. But I obviously can't do anything with the battery warnings and stuff either, so that's just going to have to be what it is. And it did return to home. It was off. Let's see, I took it off. I don't know, it was off maybe 2 feet, 3 feet maybe. I'm going to say about 2 feet, 2.5 feet, something like that. So I did have to take control right at the end when it started coming down by the truck. Because I took it off close to the truck, and I wanted to do that on purpose because that gives me a point of reference. So it was still pretty successful. I mean, most drones nowadays, you know, that's what they do. You know, they're not like super accurate But you'll get close. You'll get within a few feet or whatever, and that's fine. That's acceptable. So yeah, I think what we're going to do now is I'm going to go home. I'm going to charge everything up. Sometime when it gets a little less hot, I'll get this thing back out again, just to make sure that, you know, something like that isn't giving me fits or whatever too. And we'll do a little more leg work with it. We'll do some orbit stuff. We'll, you know, all that other jazz here. I'll make sure that the batteries are charged. And if they're not charged, then I'm going to have to at least get one more battery, because this thing is actually still functioning, even with the power button being the way it is. So that makes me happy. I do have a power button coming in. I found one, but it was $10, and you know, it's just a piece of plastic, but it does have like a cross section underneath that actually contacts that that pressure plate. So that's what I want to use. I don't want to keep sticking pins in there and stuff. I'm going to definitely destroy the board itself, which it does have damage on it now. I know that for a fact. So I don't want to keep going with it, but yeah. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to get this home. We're going to do a little more leg work with it, but as of right now, this is pretty good. So like I said, I do have a DJI drone coming in. It's supposed to be in any day now. I bought the 4K model, so I can't wait to get my hands on that. It's the 4K Mini. So, you know, at least I got something I know is going to work. And the Hubsan here, we'll use it as a backup. I still might get it out for, you know, some difficult flights or whatever. Something where I'm going to have a better wind resistant, because this thing will resist up to like 12 meters a second, which I think is more than level 5 resistant. Just barely, but I think it's a little more. Those minis, I think the highest one does level 5 resistant on the wind. So I don't know. I mean, we'll still play around with it as long as it will operate or work, and we'll just kind of go from there. So thanks guys for watching. Like I said, we'll get more into this later as time goes on, but I got to do things slowly with this thing here because I've had massive problems with it here recently. I don't trust it, and that's, to me, if you're going to fly a drone, you've got to be able to trust this thing. I mean, there's people around here and everything else. I mean, where I'm at here now is an old school, not an old school, but it's, you know, an elementary school, and they do church on Sunday, so I'm here before everybody's here. So, you know, that's kind of where we're at here, guys. I don't want to do it when people's around. Obviously, you know, it's really hot out today too, so that's part of it. But I don't want to be taking it around people because it could go out of control. And if it does, I've got no way to stop it. So that's the bad thing about drones like this, that you can't get parts for. Otherwise, I would have benched this a long time ago and said, well, let's try this or try that. You know, I was actually in the process of buying pieces. You know, I bought a new body, a couple new pieces for the outside skins and stuff. I was thinking about building one, and I wanted to build one based off of this Hubsan model. I no longer want to do that. The style of drone that this is, I'm not real happy with. It does have some benefits, but it has more cons for me than benefits. So again, we'll get into that stuff later. We're going to take this thing home, kind of go through it a little more, and see what we can find. So thanks everybody for watching, and just stay tuned, man. I'm going to be going through this more. You got any ideas? You got one of these things here? What happened to yours? Do you know anything to try? Excuse me, I'm just kind of thumbing through this as I go along and finding things. I actually thought this thing was dead, so it's nice to see that it's actually still functional now. But don't let that fool you here, guys. I have zero faith in this drone right now. So until that changes, that's all we're going to be doing here is testing and trying to see, you know, if it's going to do this or that or whatever. I've got to be able to trust what I'm flying. So yeah. We'll get right into it, guys. I appreciate everybody stopping by. Thank you. Well, what's up, guys? I'm kind of going over my Hubsan drone here. I think I might have a possible solution for a fix. It's not a pretty one. Let's dive into it here, and I'll explain a little bit as we go along. All right, so there she is, just kind of throw it out on the table here. I was kind of messing around with things here, checking out my code on the back and my serial number and all that stuff. I'm trying to figure out exactly what drone this is, because there's two different versions. There's a 5G, and then there's like a JSEC version, which I think the JSEC is like the normal version or whatever. I can't tell what's what from what I have here. So I believe that I have the 5G one, because I remember that being a big deal when I bought this thing. And I do have two antennas. For those of you that don't know, the 5G is not like the 5G internet that you have on your phone. It's the 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi band. That's what they're talking about. Typically on a 2.4 gigahertz, you don't need two long antennas like this, but I mean, maybe? I don't know. I can't remember what I bought. Like I said, it's been a while, so I'm kind of at the mercy of the guessing game. So that's what we're going to do here now. I've downloaded one of the firmwares that I think it could possibly be. So we're going to try to update this thing here and see if I can hopefully bring some life back into it. Now, let me show you. I won't extend the drone blades out or nothing here. I just want to kind of show you. Let me get the little protector back on here because I don't want it to go anywhere here. So hold on 1 minute. Alright, so here's everything just kind of packed back away. I'm going to go ahead and turn the remote on, which you're supposed to do first anyway, and see how it's looking for the drone. So my power button here is really depressed there, right? It took a massive crash, and it kind of destroyed a little bit of the power board in there, but it more so destroyed the button assembly, which I did actually find a button. I just can't find the board, because I think the board needs to be replaced too, but I can't find it anywhere. So we're going to try the button, see if that helps any at all. But you can still turn it on, it's just really hard. Like, oh God. I mean, you got to really press this damn thing. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it don't either. There we go. See, I got the blue light on. Oh, I should have went off again. So hold it down until I get the connection. There we go. That's what I was looking for. And see, the connection went to the controller, so that's good. So we know it can be used anyway. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at here with the drone itself. This whole power assembly in here is damaged, and it's damaged to the point that the circuit board pad inside there is really depressed. I don't know that a new button will fix that. A new button will have nice new plastic legs on the bottom there, so it might contact it better, but I still think something was wrong with the actual contact points on the pressure pad. And I was looking at it myself, trying to zoom in on as much as I can, and my eyeballs aren't really the greatest like they used to be, but it looks like the pad itself has depression marks, where it's like permanent depression marks. So the only thing I can think of is like that's possibly from the crash. So I don't know that that's going to come out. So what we're going to do is we're going to attempt to do a firmware update on it, because we had a little bit of toilet bowl stuff going on here. Usually that happens when you get a bad firmware update. Something got hung up during it or whatever. But it's been a while since I updated this thing. Maybe I wasn't paying attention, I don't know. So I'm just going to kind of repeat the process here to see if I can kind of salvage this, because this drone is a good drone. And other than the fact of not being able to get parts, which really pisses me off, by the way, I don't like buying things that I can't get pieces to. That's just kind of dumb to me. But anyway, this is a more professional type drone. It's a Hubsan Zino Pro Plus. When I got it, excuse me, when I got it, it was kind of like an intermediate drone is what it was kind of sold to me as. It's not really an intermediate drone, it's more intermediate professional. And what I mean by that is it goes 8 kilometers, which I think is about, what, 3 or 4 miles, something like that. The flight time on it's like 40 something minutes. It weighs 700 and, I'm going to get it wrong, 769, 779 grams or whatever. So it's well above the 249 gram limit, so you do have to register it. Okay, cool. I do have it registered and stuff. Without my Part 107 license, you can't, you still can't fly like above, I think, 400 feet, and your drone still has to be within line of sight, which, okay, you know, 4 miles or whatever, I'm not going to go that far anyway. I can't see it. But the reason that that's important is you get a stronger transmission when something can go that far. You know, that means the distance that you're playing with it in and line of sight means that you're going to have a strong signal. So if it gets behind a building or whatever, hopefully it won't crap out on you. At least that's the idea anyway. So this is the kind where you hook your cell phone to it. You download the Hubsan whatever app, I can't remember what it is now, Hubsan something, and you connect it to the drone, and it goes through its calibration process every single time. That's a little annoying, but it does do that every single time. Sorry, I had to switch hands here. But it comes in a nice bag, you know. I've got lots of extra batteries with this thing here. I think I got a total of 3 batteries, and each one you get like 30 something minutes of flight out of. It's rated for 40 something, I do believe, but you get like 30 something. And this one that I have right here is a G5 or whatever. That's the pack that I have now, and this actually is my most powerful pack. It's a LiPo battery, but I can't remember. Yeah, I don't like how they don't put the milliamps and stuff on here. Oh, here it is at the tops. Yeah, I did it again. It's 6,500 milliamp hour battery, 11.4. So that would be what, 2 cell-ish or whatever. Yeah, so it's been good until I've had a couple crashes with it. Now it starts to act dumb. Maybe I can breathe some more life back into it and keep it a little bit. But if it doesn't correct itself and start acting correctly, it's either going in the trash or I'm going to sell it to somebody. I'd much rather get something out of it if I do get rid of it. Then that way I can put it in, you know, something else that I have. But I don't want to keep a drone around that's a piece of crap. I have one of those toy drones. I'll show you. One of those toy drones right over here. That's the Lulin, whatever the hell that thing's called. That is definitely a kid type drone. So I don't need any more like that. I've got plenty. I actually have a Tello too that I've been working on. I bought motors for it twice, which at the point that I'm at now, I've got 2 sets of motors and I don't know which ones are which as far as the A and B and all that kind of stuff, you know, so it's just sitting in a box. And I got no way to tell because I got the motors from AliExpress, I do believe, and they come in a set of 4. Nothing's marked, no documentation, nothing. All the wires look the same color. So that's why that one's not fixed yet. Because I do like the Tello myself, and you know, when you're just doing like a little bit of playing around and stuff like that, I mean, even in some wind, I mean, that thing was great. You get like 10-15 minutes flight time or whatever, and it did really good for, you know, what I was doing. And I was going to experiment with it because you can, you know, do coding and stuff with it, and I wanted to experiment and see if I could make something that would follow my cars or whatever, you know, to kind of track it or whatever. But mine went down and I was never able to get it fixed, so there it is. But anyway, what we're going to do now is we're going to get the Zino out after we install the upgrade here, or the firmware update. Hopefully it fixes it. We'll see. We'll make another video when I actually take it out, and hopefully it's not a disaster or failure. It's raining outside right now, so I can't really go outside, but we're going to go ahead and do the firmware update on it, and then the next video that I get it out, we'll try to take it to like the school or something and see if we can get like some flight testing and, you know, altitude limit and stuff like that. See if we can kind of put it a little bit to the test, see how it reacts. So that's what we're going to do now. Let's get right to the firmware update. Alright guys, I'm going to try to do this part really quick. All this week it's going to be 90 something degrees out here. I think It's kind of early in the morning right now, but I think we're already in the 80s. So I don't want to be screwing off out here too long. I think it's supposed to be 95 or something today. Just for my region with all the humidity and stuff, that's pretty bad. So what I want to do is I want to take the drone out. This is the Hudson, and I want to see if it will still fly. I've done some recalibration on the what is that called, the IMU or whatever. I've done that. I've recalibrated the horizontal, whatever that one's called. The only thing I haven't done is the compass calibration, which I think you do that every time you fly. So I'm going to try to be meticulous and kind of silly about it. I'm going to do it on the back of the truck here just to see if I can get like the most levelest compass calibration possible. Maybe I'll eliminate that toilet ball. Maybe it'll fly right. I don't know. It'd be really nice if I could keep this drone. Because honestly, if I sell it, I might get $200 out of it. And it is a professional drone. It goes 8 kilometers out. It does all the quickie shots and all that kind of stuff too. It is a nice drone, but it's also 749 grams or 67 grams or whatever it is. So I do have to register it. I don't mind to register the damn thing. I'm still only going to be able to go 400 feet in the air and line of sight out, so it doesn't really matter to me. Now I'm working on my Part 107 license so I can do commercial stuff. I've been working with people doing things like roofs and stuff like that. I want to do it like more legit because I've been kind of just, doing it for, well, I've been doing some work with my drone, let's put it that way. But I want to do it all legit. So I want to kind of get to that point where everything's copacetic, so I don't get in any trouble, and I got all my insurance and all that kind of jazz. So yeah, that's what I'm working on now. Plus I enjoy just playing with it anyway. It's a fun little thing to add to my hobby, so I enjoy it. It's relaxing. It's kind of sucks where I live at in the Cincinnati area. There's a whole lot of places that I can't fly because they're close to the airport. I can't fly over the Ohio River, all this other jazz. So it's kind of annoying, but you learn to deal with it. So let's get this thing out back here before we get, losing too much time here and it gets really hot. And we'll see if we can at least get the damn thing to hover right. Maybe take it up in the air, do some altitude testing or whatever. I did bring a tripod and a GoPro, so I'll be setting that up as well. You probably won't be able to see everything on that, but at least we'll be able to see like the outside part that we can't see with the drone's camera. That way we can kind of see if it does some funky shit. It's the only thing I can think of, guys. So let's get right to it, see what we can do.